the realization that when I found out David Ayer was directing this movie and Jason Statham was starring as a beekeeper in here, I instantly knew that if they had gotten Jerry Seinfeld to be in this movie in even a cameo capacity, whether he's playing himself or he's playing a talking bee, I probably would have given this film an A+ and said it's one of the best movies in the entire world. Well, that didn't happen in here, so I'm just guess if I want Jerry Seinfeld as a bee, I would just have to go watch the animated movie, The Bee Movie, one of the best movies ever made. Beekeeper's still a good time. It's just really stupid. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on this. This is my first review of 2024, and we're talking about The Beekeeper, which is a movie about a secret operative who's just a beekeeper now. He's kind of like the Baba Yaga from John Wick. Yes, that kind of hidden name that everyone just knows, but they know what they can do. That's technically what the Beekeeper is in this world. And in one man's brutal campaign for vengeance, he takes on a national stakes after he is revealed to be a former operative of a powerful and classified organization known as the Beekeepers. Again, this is directed by David Ayer, and it stars the likes of Jason Statham. And I just wanted a good action movie. That's literally all I wanted, and I got it. Like, this isn't one of the best, nor is it going to be one of the most memorable, but it will be absolutely one that I will be like, yeah, you know what, that was underrated, because it's a bee action movie. And I don't just mean that because of the word the bee, I mean bee action movie. One of those things that you'd watch in like the 90s, the 80s that you might forget, but you'll tune in at any point in time on TV and be like, this is kind of enjoyable. It's kind of forgettable when it comes down to the story department, but it's enjoyable for what it is. And I'll be honest, like, I think if I was buzzed, I probably would have enjoyed this film a little bit more, but it has enough merit to where you can just enjoy it for what it is. And if you want to tune in for a decent bee action movie this weekend, I think you'll find one. You'll find one here, even though it's completely fucking stupid. It's so stupid to so many different degrees, and I'm going to talk about all of that stuff and my thoughts going throughout this entire movie, but I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section, so make sure to leave your thoughts down below, hit that like and subscribe button as well, and of course, let's get into this. So, with every movie review, I usually like starting and talking with the pros, but this movie is so weird to talk about because I think so much of this film is just an overall mixed bag, but it's one that it's so, again, fucking stupid that I would like still recommend seeing if you're a fan of action films. And to kind of just get that out of the way, first off, this is David Ayer's most fun film that I can really remember. You know, I'm a pretty big fan of his. I don't think he's had the best day at the office lately with Suicide Squad. Obviously, that's not his cut. We're not going to get into that. But you obviously also have The Tax Collector, which I thought was kind of a disappointment. I still liked it for what it was, but really was not up to his cup of tea. When you look of like End of the Line and Fury, and of course he wrote the script for Training Day, David Ayer is a really good creative vision in Hollywood. It just seems like he hasn't really been able to get on board, but a lot of his films are usually very overly serious to a certain degree, and I usually like those tones. And The Beekeeper, for the most part, it's a little overly serious. We'll talk about that, but I think it's his most fun film yet in terms of giving Jason Statham just an arsenal of powers and multitude and just letting this ultimate killer just go and let loose and do whatever he wants. And I think the best part about this film is that the action is good. Usually when I go into any action film nowadays, I either get jump cut after jump cut after jump cut to either awesome one-shot stylized takes like in John Wick. And sometimes some are better than the others, but usually when it's the jump cut takes, I'm not a fan of those. And I kind of was a little bit worried the Beekeeper was going to be that, but for the most part, it's pretty enjoyable. Like, the action, you can see what's going on. It's edited nicely. It's edited like a B movie in the 90s and early 2000s to maybe even some of the late 80s, and you can get down to that as well. Jason Statham absolutely nails it in each and every one of those scenes. I think his performance is pretty damn good in here. And, you know, if I want to get into this, I think Josh Hutcherson plays a pretty good villain in here. A little fucking brat, but I liked him in here. I also think Emmy-Lampman and Jeremy Irons are also really entertaining in here, and I think they build up the entire tone. I have some issues with one of their personalities and one of their storylines, but in the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I think that's, again, just like those little things, those little nuances, but the movie is completely stupid. It's completely stupid to a bunch of different degrees, and not just because of the amount of times that they mention beekeeping, buzzing, honey, making Winnie the Pooh references. I mean, genuinely, there's a Winnie the Pooh joke in here and a Winnie the Pooh entertaining moments. It's very, very small. It's just the one thing that's stuck in the back of my head. And I just sat there and I'm like, that moment, that line was better than anything I saw in Blood and Honey last year. So I don't know. If you don't know what Blood and Honey is, it's that awful Winnie the Pooh horror movie. I hope the sequel's better. Getting off tangent, though, speaking about other movies, and sticking onto The Beekeeper, though, I mean, this movie is just dumb to all those degrees. You could probably get absolutely plastered and have a blast with your friend if you went to the movie theaters this weekend and took a shot for every single time they mentioned honey, beekeeping, all that stuff is stuff that I just mentioned. But every time it mentioned those, I laughed my ass off. I sat there smiling and giggling like a little 5-year-old girl who just discovered that she loves action movies. Like, it's so dumb what I was giggling at. Even some of the action scenes, like there's a one in here where Jason Statham, basically, I don't want to get into spoilers in case you're sensitive, but he just throws this dude off a bridge. But the way that he throws him off the bridge is so overly done that I just couldn't help but love it. And then you ask yourself, well, okay, so if he's a retired beekeeper from this classified organization, well, who's the beekeeper? Oh, that's the new beekeeper. There's so many different ideas in there that it's very funny to see how they play out. For a movie, they really play out a lot of them throughout it all. Something in the classified organization, you get this. If you want a political thriller with espionage, you kind of get it in here. If you want just something so stupid, you get that too. And that's all those mixed bag elements that I mentioned, is that because that's going to work for some people, and some people are going to think this is the worst movie that they've ever seen. Honestly, would understand either or any other idea that you could possibly mention in here, because I would get it. Trust me. I believe me, I understand. In fact, it's really hard because I want to give this film at least a B, because it's The Beekeeper, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I would still recommend it. Again, if you're looking for a decent little B action movie, this is the one for you. Seriously enough, getting my mixed aspects out of the way and my pros, my actual cons to the movie that actually do hurt the film just a bit is how overly serious it can be at times. Sometimes the overly serious nature of certain characters in here kind of just kills the absolute tone. There's some trying to be some comedic moments in there, but it really just does not work. And I think there are some sort of subplots in here that I honestly think were not needed. In fact, when you do and go look at the first John Wick, which I absolutely love and adore, some of the villain stuff in there is a little bit slow-paced, and that's kind of some of the reason that I don't revisit the first John Wick all too much, is because of that much. They also kill a dog in that movie, and I don't like watching that scene. I forgot to mention this, the way that you actually, the reason he's on this revenge tale, I'm not going to get into the reason why, but it is something that is if you have any older person in your life and they're on the internet, this is something that is such a worry to me every day of what's going on. And the way that this revenge tale builds up is really, I mean, instantly in the first 10 minutes, I knew what the tone of this movie was and what David Ayer was going for with this stupid tone. But it made sense and it got me on board, and I was like, yeah, I probably would be Jason Statham too. That's another pro that I liked. And again, maybe it should be a mixed aspect, but I liked it. It worked for me. I'm kind of all over the place because this movie kind of is all over the place. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's a B action movie in both kind of categories. It's got enough puns to satisfy those. I liked it, I enjoyed it. Will I remember it? Who knows? But I would probably watch it again if it was on streaming. And I think if you're looking for just a satisfying little action movie this week that's just one to turn your brain off and enjoy, you'll probably like this. If you're looking for something any sort of memorable and one of the best action films of the year, it's not here. But if you like Jason Statham, then you are in the right place. Again, it's overly serious at times, and that's my biggest issue with the movie. In fact, a couple storylines in here really, I don't think were needed. I think this film probably could have been trimmed up to 10-15 minutes off of its runtime, and it probably would have made for a perfect 90-minute action film. So with all that said, I'm going to give The Beekeeper a C+. I tried convincing myself to give it a B or a B-, but I couldn't. But it's still a good B movie, and I think, again, go get buzzed, go have some fun, and enjoy yourself this weekend. So with all that said, guys, thank you so much again for watching this. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and comment down below your guys' thoughts, and of course, until next time, stay classy.